Oh, that's not bad.
Ashe, Ashe, hey, Ashe, and hey, we're here. We're here. Taking the journey together. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to
Absolutely.
see
All right.
everybody here. Wow. Go ahead,
Yes.
Sharon.
At least it's great to be here. Another week.
Mhm.
This is just exciting. This has been a great week for
It
me.
has been. Were we
Yes.
recorded last time because of some business to take care, or were we live yesterday?
Last time, yes, we did. We were live.
We were
We were
live,
live.
live in living color.
Yes.
Remember that?
In living color.
Man, what a show! It was beyond. It was
Oh
futuristic.
gosh,
It was
it
beyond its
was.
time. Right.
It was so um so impactful
Mm-hmm.
that even at a time when I was monitoring very closely
Mm-hmm.
what my children watched,
Mm-hmm.
I would allow them to watch that show simply because I knew um it was history being made.
Exactly. Launched a lot of careers. Jim Carrey's career, he still gives a lot of credit to them for
Hmm.
launching that career. I forgot the other young man that launched his
Um,
career.
David Allen
David
Greer,
Allen Greer,
um,
exactly.
countless Wayans.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And they
um,
stopped the show because they did.
yeah, yeah.
They stopped the show because they did. I I saw them. No, we heard about them when we were visiting a casino that looks like a guitar and
Yes.
out by Hollywood Beach
Hot,
because we go
hot,
down to Hollywood Beach in Florida a lot.
Hard Rock Cafe.
Exactly. And remember, we saw
Yeah,
that
Hard Rock
they were
Motel.
on
Hmm.
tour, the Winding
Yes.
Brothers doing a
Yes.
comedy
Uh
skits.
huh.
We wish we could have stayed because we went there long enough because
Oh,
we
I
were there during
know.
Christmas time
Yeah, and
because
I
we
had
like
to
to
get
go
back
down
to
there.
work as usual.
Exactly. But yeah, they were on tour doing that. But anyway, you're listening to Taking
Oh,
the Journey
watching.
Together, watching
Yes.
Taking the Journey Together. We do have a show. You see it on the bottom, WRUU, where it is a show where you listen to every 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning.
Every
Eastern Standard
Saturday
Time.
morning
Saturday, yeah,
at
yeah,
9 a.m.
exactly. Okay, so
Yes.
you speak and I listen. Why don't you tell us our vision? What's our vision statement for taking the journey
We are
together?
going to relate. It doesn't matter what your mother, father, sister, brother, anybody says, we are going to relate. But at taking the journey together, we try to encourage people to relate in a balanced way,
Mm-hmm.
which means you start off your relationship and you build it into a friendship, and then you build it into a lovership. And that is where you make your committed relationship with who is your friend and your lover. And you continue that relationship as a friend and a lover, and that's a balanced relationship.
Exactly, exactly. Someone put up there, share alike, share alike. So share with your friends, share with your families, share with your girlfriends, share with your boyfriend, share with your
Enemies, your
enemies. Just
neighbors.
share, please. Let them come. Tell them to come
Yes.
and listen to a very, very good, uplifting, informational,
Yes.
relationship show information. Of course, like our
Should.
old guy said to me one time, if it doesn't do you any good right now, put it in the deep freezer. One day you'll have to bring it out.
Exactly. and sharing it with your enemies, it may change things, and your enemy may become your friend.
Exactly. Hey, put up your hot button. Put up a hot button. Would you let
Okay,
them know about the
yes,
hot
I
button?
didn't put it on today just so that I could put the hot button up.
Uh-huh.
There we go. Hot. Are you hot?
Mm-hmm.
I know you've been hot the last few days, but this is not the same kind of hot.
No, it's not.
Hopefully, you've been this kind of hot also. Honest, open, and transparent, which is what you should be in your relationship. It's one of our basic principles. We sell these hot buttons for $5 each. You need two of them, one for you, one for your partner,
Mm-hmm.
or one for that person that you should or are hot with. And
Oh, you know of a couple that's hot. Say, hey, I know this couple is hot. Let me go and give them this button,
exactly.
gifted as a gift for them.
Yes. And the proceeds go back to support ATR. All
Yes.
things relevant.
Yep, definitely, definitely. Okay.
Now I'll put it on.
I'm kind of put up our what is our we are still talking about that thing, but you haven't gave us our vision, have you?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Just
you
a few
did?
minutes ago.
Oh my goodness.
You suggested I do it.
Oh my goodness. I'm getting
Yes.
old.
That's okay. It's been a day.
Yeah, it has been a long day, no
But-
doubt about it. But we're back on our topic. Yeah, we're going to
Yes.
give it up here real soon.
Yes.
But we know that this is one of our, how can I say it, ongoing virus, ongoing negative energy,
Yes.
ongoing dust in the wind of
E- e-
relationship.
Exactly.
It's
Unfortunately,
toxicity.
it's not dust in the wind. It
Yeah.
is dust that piles up
True.
on the furniture,
True,
that
true
needs to
enough.
be cleaned off.
Yeah, toxicity is just, I mean, we listen and talk to people, all the time. Not necessarily for us to get information, but for our shows, which is important, but just out of plain conversations.
Exactly.
People just talk about in their relationship. They won't even call it toxicity.
Mhm.
They wouldn't call it
Yeah.
toxicity at all.
They're not familiar with that terminology.
No.
And as it relates to relationships for the most part. And I know we've been on this for a while,
Mhm.
but there's so much to it. It's like it's like one of those things that, as you're teaching, other things come up, but they're sometimes very in depth. And if you want to go deeper than just what's on the surface,
Mhm.
it's going to take a minute. We won't be on it forever, but there are some things that are very important as I start clapping it out.
There's no doubt about it that toxicity has many times been generational
Mm-hmm.
conditioned.
Yes.
We've had as a condition as being just a way of life.
Yeah,
when
and
it
you
comes
get
to
so
toxicity.
comfortable with it, you think it's normal.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know.
Mom has always been that way. Dad's been that way all the time.
Mhm.
Uncles have been that way.
Yeah.
Annie's been that way. My homeboy's been that way. My wife always been that way. And we think nothing about it. We think it's a normal way
Mhm.
to relate to one another. So we're going to talk a little bit more. Those who already know, who've been with us on our 5th round, this might be a last round when it comes to toxicity. If you got any stories that you think are toxic, please go ahead and share it. Nothing's too dumb. Nothing's too stupid. Share us with us in your comments. Hopefully you have some of our usual ones that are with us. We kind of missed them the last couple of times. And share us your story of what toxicity has happened to you in your relationship.
And one of the things that
Mhm.
may hold people back from sharing is the fact that you feel like it's embarrassing because you're there, but it doesn't matter how long you have been married.
Mhm.
Toxicity can fall into it, just and it's not necessarily a permanent thing.
Mhm.
Sometimes the toxicity in a relationship can be fleeting, here today and gone for the next 3-4 years.
Mhm.
So but these things happen. It's a part of life. No relationship is perfect, and you're not going to be perfect on every day. And so you can bring that toxic energy into your relationship, or you may have a really good relationship going and somebody else brings that toxicity in, or something else brings that toxicity in.
Mhm.
You've just cleaned the floor, and the kids open the door and the dog runs in, who's been rolling in mud, and there you go, you need to clean it again because the kids are too young to clean it
Mhm.
that can't be their punishment for
Mhm.
letting the dog in. And there goes your mood, there goes your day.
Mhm.
And at that same time, your partner walks in, and it's like, I got to vent someplace, and you get it.
Mhm.
And then 5 minutes later, you're over it, and I'm sorry, and life goes on, and
Well,
everything is back to
you may
normal.
not even use sorry at that particular time, because
Exactly.
your apology may not be something that comes to your mind, because you don't think that you're being toxic
Right.
whatsoever. The doctor last time that we had on, I can't
Hmm.
remember the doc's name.
Dr. I want to say Jessica.
I think it was. She's on WRUU. She has a program called what again?
Sister's Perspective.
Sister's
Yeah.
Perspective. She
Got
was
so
with us.
many names I'm trying to
She was
stick in
with
my
us
head right
2 weeks
now.
ago, and she was with us on the topic of toxicity. And she brought up in this case about toxicity, and she talked about the extreme side, which is okay.
Hmm.
Those were total narcissists. Those
Yes.
are more sociopaths. I
Hmm.
don't know how many people actually will go into a doctor and see them. In a lot of cultural conditions, many Black folks don't see psychologists, don't see doctors, don't see counselors
Right.
whatsoever. And I suppose if they did, they would probably be certified psycho
Which is
or
probably why
narcissists.
some of them don't go,
So
because they
exactly,
know.
oh, exactly, all about them from that end. But
Yes.
if that is not what is being um 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 um, um deduced out of you in that
Hmm.
relationship, then it's not necessarily something that should be the extreme of, let's throw the baby out the bathwater, just get rid of my relationship because of
Right.
that. We understand, as we talked about before, that we go through cycles. And when it comes to toxicity, one of them that has to do with the mother died, father
Hmm.
died, child died. And so during that particular time, you're not going to be yourself. You're not going to feel yourself.
Right.
And so that would be a time where toxicity is probably going to be much in that
Hmm.
relationship. And
Hmm.
so during these times, we would definitely not, I'm going to say, as us being also a relationship coach, we do have that. We can help you out when it comes to relationship coaching. Is that that's not a time for you to think because the other person is being toxic. Well, divorce time. I mean, and to get rid of
Yes.
them. I don't need to have him in my life
No
at that
need to work
time.
through this because it's unworkable.
Exactly,
No.
exactly. And you wouldn't want that to happen to you if
Hmm.
you were going through some tough times and you weren't up to snuff. You weren't
Right.
up to that balance. You weren't up to that healthiness, and you were being toxic too. On that note, we're going to at least go back over what toxicity is. I think that's important because we throw that word out, but yet we don't know what toxicity is, meaning the cause of toxicity. The cause
Hmm.
of toxicity.
Yes.
I'll start the first part so you know what the cause of toxicity is. The cause of toxicity fundamentally is toxic relationship behaviors.
Hmm.
Toxic, what again? Relationship behaviors,
Yes.
behaviors, things you do, things you say, your tone of voice, your body language. Don't roll your
Hmm.
eyes at me. No, you gotta hear that attitude.
I have trouble. I have to admit, I have trouble rolling my eyes.
I
It's
didn't
like,
say you were
I
right
know,
now. I'm
no,
just saying.
I'm laughing about it because that's
Uh,
one of those things that people say a
Sit
lot.
the girl rolling her eyes
Yeah,
at
it's
me.
like, and I'm like, I have trouble
See, my
doing it.
mom used to do this. She roll her eyes at you in the store, in the church. Oh, I better straighten up.
Okay,
I'm gonna
see,
get in trouble if I don't.
mine didn't roll her eyes. She would glare at
Oh,
you.
you had the mom did the glare
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. She could,
She
she could be sitting out in the church, and I'm up in the choir
mm-hmm.
stand, and I would know she was looking at
That
me,
she had
and
that
she would
she had
just,
that creepy glare like I'm gonna kill you.
it was like, I'm not gonna forget what you're doing, and you
Yeah,
shouldn't be doing it. And I'm
yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna straighten
So
up, and I'm gonna sit
toxic
here right.
relationship behaviors
Hmm.
are the results of a lack of empathy.
Yes.
Those toxic behaviors,
Hmm.
in this case, body language is what
Right.
we're talking about
Right.
as part of it. Tone of voice is what we're talking about. It's not just the tone of voice like you stupid ass
Yeah.
and some other words like that.
Exactly.
I've got to watch out what I'm saying. All of these put together have at its root the lack of empathy,
Right.
the ability to understand and share the feelings of another one. Yep,
Hmm.
that's what the lack of empathy is.
Yeah.
You don't have the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. And what's
Right.
that empathy defined that you have? I love what you
Oh
talked
gosh.
about.
And see, I'm still working on this one. Empathy is like a
Mm,
pair of glasses
mhm.
that you put on to see the world through somebody else's eyes. That is so amazing to me. I just absolutely love that.
Yeah, yeah. We live in a world that's so self-centered. We live in a world that is all about me. Success means I'm just driving my own show. I don't care if I'm in a relationship. I ain't trying to relate to them. They better only relate to me. And they don't even know that that idea, that concept is toxic within itself,
Yes.
when the only thing that you're thinking about is just you and you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
We're not
exactly.
even talking about if you're not in a relationship, you're still going to relate to people in life,
Yes.
period.
Yes. And it's still not
And
all
you
about
still
you.
have this thought process, feelings deep down inside. This is only all
Mhm.
about me. You look at the world with no kind of glasses
Right.
of someone else.
Right.
You might as well say, I got one of those super glasses on, got a mirror that's always looking back at me.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm so
Yes.
cool. And I'm the only one
I'm so
that I need to deal
everything.
with.
Yes.
Exactly.
best.
Exactly. So we might as well just move the way of empathy. Excuse me, toxicity way, and might as well say that you don't have much empathy at all.
For anybody.
Yeah, you don't have
Yes.
real feelings
Except
for
yourself.
somebody else except for yourself.
Which is, an oxymoron in itself.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
We've got what is that
I don't know. I'm
comment
gonna
up
find
there?
out here for a second. See if that's no, it's the usual one that
Okay.
comes up through them. Got any comments? Please make sure there's nothing stupid or nothing doesn't make sense. You got some of your own stories you want to bring up about toxicity or lack of empathy that's happening in your relationship. You'd like to discuss this with us and give you some insider input, or you might feel that I don't know if I'm being toxic or not too empathetic in this
Yes.
relationship. What are some things that you can help me out with, or giving me some signs that I'm actually doing it, or maybe my partner is
Yes.
doing it, and what can we do about it? Because we're going to get into that right now.
And
we're
we
going
like
to talk about
hearing
the
from
different
you.
signs. Exactly, we love it. So we're going to be talking about some of the signs, and we've did that before. We talked about you don't feel safe in a relationship,
Mhm.
or you're making someone else not feel safe in a relationship.
Yeah.
We talked about also too how you had a bad or non-existent communication. One of the apocalyptic, I say for me,
Apocalyptic.
elliptic horses in a relationship is the lack of communication, where
Yes.
someone stonewalls you or
Yes.
doesn't say anything to
Right.
you at all. That lack of communication is definitely toxic. That's right. A lot of people will think if I say nothing,
Nothing's gonna happen.
now I'm gonna tell you like Will Smith, don't say nothing, won't be nothing.
And that can be taken many different ways.
Exactly. In a relationship, if you don't say nothing, there ain't gonna be nothing.
Right.
That
Absolutely not.
right there has you stand on an empathetic
Mhm.
foundation.
Yes.
If you care about someone, in turn, you want them to know that you care about them. You got to communicate.
Yes.
You can't expect them to try to read your mind.
Right.
If you bring no kind of hand signals, at least whatsoever, how are they supposed to know that? There are some people in a relationship that they have this feeling. You're supposed to read my mind. You should have already have known that.
Yes.
And you're like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And if you
or,
present
or
that
they
to them,
or they go, well, didn't it happen before?
exactly,
Maybe.
exactly. And so you get that lack of empathy, and then toxicity comes back from the standpoint you didn't really care.
Yes.
You really are not empathetic to me. You really don't care about my feelings. When really what it was, you were not giving anything in communication to let them know that you not only wanted them to care, but you cared about them caring for you in the first place.
Right.
Wow. Sometimes people expect something that they themselves will not give,
Right.
and have not given, or plan not given whatsoever. Yeah. Okay. So bad communications. The other one we talked about, you feel neglected and exploited. You feel neglected and exploited. You want to talk a little bit about that one?
Yeah, when your partner's not paying any attention to you, or they're paying attention to you in such a way that you feel like you're being used, and in which it doesn't have anything to do with you and how you feel. It's like, you do this for me, and you do this for me, and you do this for me, or it is nothing. Not only is there a lack of communication, but it's also a lack of being seen, being felt. And sometimes you can be in relationships where you don't feel like you're seen. We're quick to talk about child neglect and things like that, but spousal neglect or relationship neglect is just as serious. Because you start feeling like you're unimportant, and That's not good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, might be something that, oh, I use this particular person because in front of people, she's easy, he's easy on the eye. I can then from there make good business contacts and win me over some people because of that. And I give them all kinds of kudos and uplift and be a good coaching tool out in the public in front of my possible
He looks
customers.
good on my arm.
Exactly. But when I'm at home, I pay no attention. I'm out with my boys, watching TV, on Twitter, talking to other girls, or on Facebook, talking to other women or other guys. I basically just was exploiting you to get what I need for out in the business world. But otherwise, I don't care much about you.
Yeah.
I have no real empathy and feelings for you anyway. Don't you look good enough? What I need to worry about for? You get enough exposure. You get
I'm
enough.
taking you along
you
with
get enough
me.
attraction. Exactly. So why do I care?
Even though the person may not want it, you know, they maybe could care less. They may really and truly want to be with you, and yes, they're going along with you. But from their standpoint, it's just to be with you and to spend time with you and to get into you. And you're like, okay, it's like you go home, you take off your clothes and you hang them up. Well, you go home, you take the your partner off your arm and hang them up.
Yeah,
you may as well.
It's kind of like using this analogy. It's kind of like having plants. Okay, it could be like flowers that look good in front of people, looking for good from you, but you never water it.
Yeah.
You never weed it. You never fertilize it. Water it, showering them with that kind of, intimate touch.
Yes.
Okay. Affectionate touch. That's it. Showering in this particular case of water. Never weeding it, which means, hey, I'm going to help you with something because I know you can't do it as well as you could, but it would do much better if I help you out with it.
Or do whatever's necessary to pull out the bad pieces. That's
exactly.
The bad traits or the negative traits, bring them to your attention so that you can get better, not bring them to your attention to bring you down.
Exactly. And then the last one, fertilize. I never give you much positive affirmation. I don't become that spiritual coach for you. I don't become that cheerleader for you whatsoever. You just out there on your own. Your mama love you. Your kids love you. The people love you out there. So what did I need to do this for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you can tell that's going to be bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not having much empathy for that other particular person. You're letting them fend for their self, right?
Yes.
So what happens through that on the other side is those toxic people, if they're doing that, they then become very often resentful, frustrated, and angry because you might then have to set some boundaries during that time. No, I'm not going out there with you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to see that. No, if I'm out there, I'm going to say something different. No, I'm going to start studying things for myself. No, I'm going to start exercising and finding some hobbies for myself to make me feel good.
You go ahead and do what you have to do, and I'll see you when you're done.
Exactly. Those boundaries will start making people upset. So if you're that person that is the toxic person because you don't care, it's going to come back on you.
Yeah.
That reaping and sowing is going to come back on you because the seed that you sowed. And those out there who are in a toxic relationship, get that boundary set up. This is another help for you. Get that boundary set up. Start doing some things to have you feel good, and not necessarily let them be the source of you feeling good.
Right.
Because their source is feeling good. It's not real water. And it's not real in this particular case, fertilizer. It's not real nutrition.
And it's not about you.
No. Many times it's like Joe Madison said, it's real BS. Bullshit. And he told the story how he told the story how Joe Madison is the guy that is called the Black Eagle and on urban radio on Sirius radio. We listened for years. But it said in the old days, farmers, whenever they needed a fertilizer to get on the particular field, people would come around.
The manure was the important piece.
Yeah, exactly. The important piece for, as you already know, for those who don't know about plants and stuff, anyway, farming, that manure is needed for the plants to be able to grow again. It's a natural way.
Natural fertilizer.
And so these super salespeople who are cons will come around and they would sell this particular fertilizer. But what would happen is the farmers who were real hip, the farmers who were real farmers who knew about what was going on, many times they found out that that fertilizer was not real.
Well, it was not. It was tainted.
It was tainted. Exactly.
Yeah, they would.
Can I tell the story? Or you gonna tell
Okay,
it?
go ahead. I'm sorry, because I was so fascinated with it
That
this morning.
it was actually tainted, and it was tainted because it had bull manure in it. Okay,
Yeah.
and bull manure has mostly too much testosterone in it,
Yes.
and it won't get and allow plants to nurture and grow. So they basically would say, hey, you just try to sell me some what bullshit.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times in that relationship, when that's happening, someone is really talking to you with bullshit. They're
Yeah.
not trying to get you to grow.
Right.
They're not trying to get you to expand. They're
Right.
not trying. They're selling you some bullshit.
Exactly.
Don't let it. Don't let them
Exactly.
do that.
And
They
that
don't really care.
and that also comes with its own form of judgment,
Yes.
because they're judging you as opposed to seeing you for who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And that judgment sometimes ends in being put down, and things like that. You not allowing you to be you. That's
Mm-hmm.
the judgment, not curiosity, is the norm.
Mm-hmm.
And so those things go hand in hand. We've come all the way from lack of communication down to judging people and judging people negatively, and you can see how they're all connected sometimes.
Exactly. And there's a difference between judging and being curious. Now, being curious is the lifeblood of a relationship, not judgment. Remember, being curious is you wanting to ask questions because you want to know more about that person.
Yes.
And I guarantee if you are growing in a balanced way in a relationship, you ain't about knowing everything about one another. Even twin flames, for those who know what that is, even soul partners, if anybody knows what it is, they still don't know everything about themselves exactly. So the relationship part of curiosity helps your relationship grow, getting to know each other as time goes by in your relationship. Or judgment ain't about being curious about that person, not trying to get to know that person whatsoever. In fact, they may not give one damn about trying to get to know you, period.
And one of the things that I have found out is you can know everything about yourself, or think you know everything about yourself. But when you are in a relationship with somebody and you're really connecting with that person, that connection will bring things out in you that you didn't even know about yourself. And so, if it is a truly nurturing and growing relationship, and so that's where that curiosity is also important to be a part of it, because then not only is your partner learning about you, but you're learning some new things about yourself too.
Exactly. Like if you like waking up and your spouse likes sleeping in, I'm not mentioning any name. That's cool.
That's me. That's
So
you.
instead of saying you should get up early, which I did a couple times, ask, why do you like sleeping in so late? That's a good bridge statement.
Yeah.
Now I had to find out from your sister, because you didn't want to tell me up
She didn't
front
have a clue
that you are not a morning person.
I'm not.
Now your jump up for school, they did a good job to train you for that.
But
Your
see,
jump up
that's
for
the thing.
school.
I've always loved school,
Yeah.
and I've always loved going to school.
Okay.
And so now that I am on the other side of it, I still enjoy it. I'm still not a morning person. As a matter of fact, when I was in the medical field, I was going to be working 11 to 7 or 3 to 11. I was not going to get the early day shift for that very reason. But now doing what I love to do, I'll get up for that. But given my options, I would rather go to bed early and sleep late, or go to bed late and sleep late.
Okay.
But
I heard that.
But yeah.
Gotta have your beauty sleep.
I do.
Is it booty or beauty? Excuse me, beauty sleep.
I do. Beauty
Both,
sleep, and
okay,
I really, I need that.
I like that portion. But anyway, yeah.
Yes. But it just makes me. It makes me feel. The more sleep I get, the more rest I get.
And I don't get enough sleep.
Not even close.
I'm always feeling like I got to wake up to see what's going on all the time. My curiosity is, as I was young, I've always been a curious person ever since I was young.
Well,
my curiosity still hasn't stopped much.
I'm curious too, but I don't. I've always been curious, but I never let it interfere with my rest.
I know.
And with that rest, I always felt like I had a better connection with my surroundings and what was going on.
Well,
I was more alert.
They say sleep. Did you? Dick Gray used to say this one time. He said, "Do you know the number one killer in this world for people, especially older people, is the lack of sleep?"
Yes.
I remember you used to say that all the time. The lack of, you should at least get at least 8 hours if all possible. And then we found out sleeping is compound.
Mm-hmm.
So you could actually put in 2 or 3 hours one day, and the next day put in 4 or 5 hours, and next day put 5 hours in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it compounds, meaning it adds up in your body. Other than those like me who do 3 or 4, maybe one day, 3 or 4 the next day, maybe 3 the next day, and do that
Yeah.
for months and sometimes for years.
That's not good.
No,
Not
it's
good
not
at all.
good. Not good
You
at
know, so
all.
yes, I do. I love my sleep and my rest. I'm not the one that can sleep all day long, but I can
Mhm.
take a nap in the day in a heartbeat.
Well, beyond that, we all mess up. We all do things that hurt people and step on toes and accidentally walk into their personal landmines.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, are there some landmines. We need people who care enough to call it out.
Yes.
That's right, folks. If you have someone that's a yes, sir, or a yes, ma'am, or a yes, man, no, no, they're not doing you much good. They don't have the best interest at your heart. Just put it like this: they're not very empathetic and caring
Right.
about you,
Right.
because not everybody's perfect. Period. If someone really cares about you, empathetic, they're going to call out those things, not to tear you down, not to just talk about you because they want to do it, because they want to call out to let you know there's something better in you, and these are the things that are stopping you from
Mm-hmm.
going forward. Being challenged and held accountable are important parts of any worthwhile relationship. Again, being challenged and held accountable are important parts of any, notice the word, worthwhile.
Worthwhile.
Some of some relationships that ain't even worthwhile. There's toxic
Yes.
going on all the time,
Yes.
non-empathy, non-caring all the time, and we think nothing about it.
And it was that way before.
Atlanta
Yeah, I mean, it was
Housewives.
that way when you got started. It didn't just develop into that. There was that bickering and that toxicity and that judgment and that demeaning
Mm-hmm.
going on from the very beginning of you meeting one
Yes.
another.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Well, on Thursday, I'm going to pop that up. I just wanted to say that, being challenged in a relationship means that toxic people will do this. They'll approach you with condemnation, not compassion. Again,
Yes.
condemnation and not compassion. They'll use your past mistakes as a weapon.
Oh
They
gosh,
won't use
yes.
Sankofa that looks in your past.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those things that you can learn from your past,
Yes.
and then bring it home forward for the present to use to the future. No, they look at your past and mistakes and use it as a weapon
Yes.
against you.
And you hear a lot of people talking about women doing that. Oh, they'll hold everything against it, but men do it too.
No, we
know,
do that.
They will. They say, you get into an argument with a woman and she'll bring up something that you did 10 years ago. It goes both ways, people. So you
Yeah.
gotta check that toxicity, or check your toxicity, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem, is that society has broken down things so that, men on this side do this and women on this side do that. And this side is worse than this side, or this side is worse than that side. But the bottom line is, neither one of them is conducive to a healthy, thriving relationship, no matter who's doing it. And they cross, it's not like there's a brick wall saying, you can't have these traits, they're not going to go through this. They both, because a lot of them come from what we experience as children. If we have parents who are constantly belittling and putting us down and stuff like that, then that's going to happen.
Exactly. Hey, we're going to take a break real quickly because our nice engineer says that sometimes we've got to take a break and throw in some quick commercials. I guess that's what they call it, or PSAs. Well, first of all, I'll let you know that you can listen to the Taking the Journey Together show. You can listen to it on Thursdays, on Fridays. I'm sorry, Saturdays. You want to tell the rest since I can't get it right? And start at the bottom and go ahead.
On Saturdays on WRUU 107.5 at 9 a.m.
Eastern Standard Time
on Saturday morning. Or you can also go to our website on Facebook, and I said website on Facebook, never mind. But you can go to Facebook and find out how to listen to our past shows that have been archived on WRUU. And
we are still there. Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna go over to Taking the Journey. Actually, you can't get the archives off the Taking the Journey website. I know you got got that from? It's not there. You got to go to WRUU itself. But
No,
taking
no,
the journey,
I thought you could find the link there.
no, it's not
Okay,
there.
never
No, no,
mind.
no, no,
See,
no, it's not there.
that's why I'm so glad that he's in my life. When I'm wrong, he will correct me gently.
Yeah, so people can know where to go to.
Yes,
And
that's
here are
important.
past one. Taking the Journey, of course, has its own website. You could go there. And right now, we were having some, what was it, retreats we're trying to do. We're still working
Mhm.
on another retreat.
Wow
Wild
retreats.
retreat that's not working too well, but we're also looking at letting people know about we're going to start doing some relationship coaching so we can help you out on being successful moving forward in your relationship as a couple, where you want to expand that relationship so that it gets even better and better and becomes more fulfilling. That's the word we want to use, more fulfilling. And we certainly can help you out. Our principles, like the HOT principle to be exact, we're going to actually be having a seminar real soon that's going to be all around the HOT principle. We'll be inviting couples to come out and in turn share their stories in their relationship, and we'll be talking more in depth about the HOT principle. So be looking for that. We'll probably be sometime in September during my birthday time, because the weather would be better than what it's been going on about here. But we love to have you come there. At the same time, we want to let you know that we haven't said before, we also are the founders of our organization called Unity in the Community. Unity in the Community, of course, has been around since 2013. We have did events at like the mall here in Savannah. It's an arts and craft and entertainment event. We also did the event we put together. It is free, most of our events at Richmond Hill. In Richmond Hill, Georgia, we did the first 2019 Martin Luther King Parade and Park event from that end. They're still doing that too. We've also do some community give back that's happened in Richmond Hill. Give back when it comes to, we just did a book backpack event, and of course,
School supplies.
exactly, school supplies. And then we're going to do something hopefully in September. We're going to show a very good movie called Jingle Jangle to the community in December. Thank you. We also would love to invite you out on River Street every what?
Third weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Yes, you'll enjoy that. We got arts and craft vendors from all over the country. They make the arts and craft. We have food vendors too at the same time. If you want to become a food vendor, because we're looking for more African American to become food vendors down on River Street from that end, please make sure you go to www.unityinthecommunity. Again, www.unity, spell it out, IN the community. That's, you can spell that out. Dot what?
ORG.
So www.unityinthecommunity.org. Go there, find out about our prices. We do 10 by 10 tents, start out about $250 to $350. All depends if you want to do 2 days or if you want to do 3 days. And for our vendors who are food vendors, we have 10 by 10 spaces for you, and it starts about $350. We do have food truck space too, because we had some food trucks that have been out there. You can also call us if you want to at 912. What is it?
495-8838.
Okay, man.
912-495-8838.
Well, I think that was a lot right there being told, wasn't it?
I think so.
Oh, man, I need a drink after that. No, that's just regular drink. Water, I think it is.
Yes.
Oh, so let's get back to where we were before.
Okay.
We were talking about some other things that happen when you are being toxic or not empathetic. Either you are being that way or someone's being that way in a relationship. Now, another one is feeling belittled and ashamed. Yeah, we want to talk a little bit about that. Making someone feel stupid, ashamed. All signals of emotional maturity, which makes a toxic relationship. Emotional, immature people need to prop themselves up on a pile of your wrongs.
Yes. So if I'm being emotionally immature, then I can see everything that you do that's wrong, and I point that out to you, and I point that out to you to the extent that you don't feel so good about yourself, but I feel good about myself because I'm not doing those things that you're doing wrong. That's childish, first of all, by itself.
Oh, it is.
Yes. It's you can see that as being childish, because think about it. Little kids do that. I'll make you feel bad because you know I got yelled at, so I'm going to turn around and put that on you. Um, so yes, that's childish. Another thing is you don't receive empathy, and a toxic person is hyper focused on their own needs and wants,
Mm-hmm.
and that blinds them to the realities of the people around them. So, no matter what's going on, I'm not feeling good about me, so I don't see that you're not feeling good either. But I'm gonna pick at you. I'm gonna let that, really get to you and annoy you, and maybe get some kind of a rise out of you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I am close to you, so I know what little things are going to really move you into that position or that realm where um you are not yourself, where
Mm-hmm.
you know I'm going to bring you down to my level because I'm toxic, and that's one of those things of not receiving empathy. Okay.
Exactly.
And another one is you're playing a dysfunctional role. We often replay the relational. I can't
What's
talk.
that?
We
I know.
we often replay the
I'm doing.
relational.
I'm busy.
I know you are. Stories of our childhoods and
Uh-huh.
our adult relationships, which is what I was talking about a few
Mm-hmm.
minutes ago before we went to the other thing, the commercials, where your the way you act
Mm-hmm.
towards somebody else is often a direct reflection of how your parents or your siblings reacted toward you as you were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like um, you were infected with their negativity
Mm-hmm.
as a child, and you never got the antidote
So you're
for it.
talking about dysfunctional roles.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. You marry a man who just sits on the couch, plays the video games. Not me. And but
No.
I'm on the computer a lot. In fact,
Yes.
she says the
All
computer
the
is
time.
my girlfriend.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. So she can't. Yes, that's right, fellas. You don't have to just play the video games. Some of us older guys are on the computer a lot, doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
24/7.
I'm not on 24/7,
Okay,
but I'm
not
on the
24
computer a
7.
lot. No doubt about it.
Yes.
Either setting us up to do this or Unity Community, or a lot of things. But there's no doubt about it.
Oh,
I'm on
yeah.
the computer
Yeah.
sometimes way too much,
Yes.
and not taking some time out for myself and for you, and it adds that dysfunction in the relationship.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like these video games can fulfill a mothering role.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, giving my attention, or getting my attention from there, because anytime I'm there, it's on, ready to
Yeah.
operate and do what I want whenever I touch its buttons. From there, and they say child may take care for it may be something was thing when you were younger as a child, you cared for your parents cared was set in such a way that it was really kind of addicted. Okay.
Yeah. Or you
Wow.
didn't get the attention that you
Mm-hmm.
wanted, but now that computer is giving you the attention, or that video game is giving you that
Because your
attention.
mom or dad didn't give you that
Mm-hmm.
kind of nurturing, so you get it from
Yes.
there. Being stuck in a healthy role is sign of that toxicity,
Mm-hmm.
because of what it does to the relationship that cannot be mutual. What life giving and supportive.
Yes.
Notice the word is mutual. It's not mutual. Something that
Right.
is for both,
Mm-hmm.
back and
Mm-hmm.
forth. That's what mutual is. In
Yes.
this case, the mutual is with the TV,
Yes.
with the monitor and the
Yes.
laptop. From then,
And and
go ahead.
then your partner feels like the third
Mhm.
wheel, in the relationship.
Yeah. Well, jobs can also do that too.
Oh,
I mean, your job
absolutely.
being a teacher, oh my goodness, you do
Yeah.
more than 8 hours. And
Yes.
many times your job is like your mate.
Right. And
Really.
which is why I have
Yeah.
gotten myself to the point that it is things are in dire strait when I bring work home, just for that very reason, because I know I can get so caught up in it, in grading papers, in you know paying attention to the kids' needs, that I will.
Hey y'all. I thought everyone was on vacation with me. Y'all still here during the summer on the way to the beach now.
Okay, go ahead, rub it in.
Yeah, we're still here, but hey,
Well, I'm glad we're going to the beach with you
eh,
this way.
exactly, exactly. Hey, just remember, there's no excuse in the next couple of months now to sit down at home, because the weather's getting a little bit cooler, and enjoy all the nourishing and nuggets of information that we're giving out to you, and hopefully at the same time, like Joe Madison says, what are you doing about it? I would say practicing it in your
Yes,
relationship, because it
yes.
is a on the job thing
All
that
right.
needs needs to happen. So our next one is you're living under a cloud of rage. Oh man, isn't that something
Oh,
that
yes.
many times they say the angry black man? We're here now, the angry black woman, but the angry black man is just basically a cloud of age. Toxic people are often
Mhm.
critical, mocking, chronicle, sarcastic. They're always walking on eggshells around them, and they may also make you feel frustrated. You got to make sure you be concerned because sometimes you can step on a mine and they'll explode out of nowhere.
Yes.
And their episodes of rage can really be angry. And chronic anger, a person is not emotionally well and cannot be supported, can be a not supported partner during that time. When you feel like you have a high and you know it's toxic, the bottom line is they are not feeling you in that particular case.
Mhm.
I remember as we're talking about that, I'm thinking about there's some times where the anger in build up in a lot of black men because of racism and how they're treated and how they had been treated carries on in their inside and their minds and their DNA and their thoughts. And many times they hide it in the background, but yet when something push come to shove comes up, then that toxicity, that lack of empathy comes out.
Mhm.
And they're present that to their children, they present that to their spouse. And I remember it was such happening as a high sensitivity in the 70s or the 80s, one of the two. I remember Time Life magazine had a picture of a black man and with an angry, rageful face, and he held his hand with a white no, with another black face that was smiling with eyes,
Mhm.
just to show that many black men are smiling in front of you, but inside they are angry as can be. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I have been one of those. And I still find myself when I see someone being killed unrighteously, when I see unrighteous stuff happen because of racism, I feel my same anger. I feel my same upset happens. And then that toxicity comes out where you don't care about
Mhm.
others. You don't care about
Yeah.
yourself. Sometimes because of self-hate, we don't even care about our other brother that looks like us or the wife that we're married to, our partner that we're married to. And I would say we'll take it out on our children, we'll take it on our wives. And that is so wrong. And if there are some brothers out there who are listening, if there are some young men who are out there listening, and you know you carry that rage, that cloud of rage with you, I want to say to you, you're not alone with that. You're really not. There are many other brothers who are fighting and are hiding or with that same kind of toxicity in there. And when it rises up and it raises up, you feel no empathy, where it's not at all uncomfortable to want to hurt someone, to want to physically harm someone, to even want to kill someone, which we have sometimes that killing between one another because that lack of love and hate. And I just want to tell you right now, I know how you're feeling. I know your thoughts in that way, mentally, emotionally. I've had it before. I felt it before. And sometimes I still feel it now. But I want to say to you that toxicity has everything to do with your lack of empathy, first of all, for your own self.
Yes.
That's what it is. When you have that hate for another person that looks like you, another brother or innocent sister or innocent spouse or your kids, that's hate that's also for your own self. And you're just taking on somebody else, taking out on
Mhm.
somebody else. And we got to stop hating ourselves to learn that we in turn don't have to hate someone that looks like us. I know the world ain't telling you that. I know that around us when it comes to the social constraint and how it's been how can I say it's shown in the movies and shown in the media that we're nothing but monsters and that in turn we don't deserve to be this and that. That's just not true. You are somebody. You've been somebody. If you don't know, you need to ask somebody. And I'm telling you, you are
Yeah.
somebody. You are worth more than sometimes what people make you feel and what you think. And when you find that you are somebody and you know who you are, you're going to easily be able to treat someone differently with more love and more
Mhm.
care. But more than that, you're first going to start with you.
Yes.
You're first going to start with you. And if that has been that you have caused that kind of damage, emotionally, physical damage, hey, I want to say to you right now, and I'm going to take the position of those who have did that to others, including even me. I want to say out to those who have been the victims, those who have been hurt before because of that,
Mhm.
I want to say to them, I'm sorry. I'm gonna represent all the other brothers out there who know in this thing that I'm talking about, you know what I'm feeling, you know what I'm thinking. I'm gonna stand in for you and say, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean it. That really wasn't on my heart. That was just a toxicity time that happened and pressure was on me and I blew up. But that's not me.
Right.
That is not how I really feel when I want to be and who I was made to be. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And that is what we need to do, to forgive one another. We can't let that toxicity and that rage to continue on in our relationships. We can't let it to continue to cloud and live under that kind of cloud. We can't continue to do that. That is us living up to that stereotype that goes way back, like to the Birth of the Nation, that movie that was supposed to make the best kind of movie, and they showed us being that way. It goes all the way back to, as the Nation of Islam has said, that has created bully coons. We got to stop doing that. That is not who we are. That is not who we are whatsoever. I think on that note, when we look at that movie called Wakanda, and we saw that brother who spoke to the nations and he has passed away, even though I hate the fact that they're not going to let his position exist anymore because he passed away, where we could find someone else. It was the role model of that brother on Wakanda who played that gentleman, who played that delegate, who played that wise character that we need. But that's how we should be. That's what we can be. And you don't have to wait till you get older to be that way either. Right. Let's stop being toxic in that area of rage. Let's turn that around. Let's manage our rage, put it into something more positive. First of all, know that you are somebody and you don't have to keep living under those kind of lies that you're not.
Exactly. And that had me going. Yeah. What you said, that's very important. And I also realized that when you say that, it's like I told somebody the other day when I was talking to them that, and we were talking about his anger issues. And I told him, that one of the things that he needed to do is to start, to take a look at the people that have hurt him in such a way that he feels that he was wronged and he's harboring negative feelings towards them. And I said, what you have to do is you have to start forgiving. And that forgiving has to start with you. You got to forgive yourself first so that you can be freed up. That energy, that negative energy that you're holding towards yourself can be freed up to help somebody else. And so, and that's pretty much what you said, which made me feel good, because at least I know that I was giving him some good advice. That's important. And thank you for that, because what you said on that side, I will stand in for the women who needed to hear that and say, I accept your apology. And I accept it with forgiveness. Maybe not full forgiveness right this minute, but I'm going to work for that,
I'm sorry. Someone was asked this as our Black governor right there wanted to know when the next time we do River Street, and I went ahead and put that down there.
Oh, no, that's fine. I knew
August
what you were doing.
19th and 21st. We do it but every third weekend of the month. But
yes. Yes, I knew what you were doing, so I was just carrying on.
Yeah, well, go ahead. I'm
sorry.
No,
that's fine. So yeah, and we have to be willing to accept a heartfelt apology and not just kind of blow it off and say, you don't mean it. You don't know what's in somebody's heart. You can't tell them what they mean and what they don't mean. You can't tell them if they're sincere or not, just because they maybe didn't deliver it in the way that you wanted to accept it or you wanted to hear it. You can't tell them that they weren't sincere, unless you are walking in their skin.
Yeah. You see that. That means that's the times that we have to try to get out of people's heads.
Yes.
Because sometimes the anger comes from is that we're in that person's head. We think that they're angry with us.
Mhm.
They think they're upset with us.
Yes.
I mean, in many times they're not.
Right. You're
And
creating things based on your feelings.
exactly. So some of that anger you have, like for the years being with my mom, was very critical as can be. She really was. I thought that anger was really towards me, though it was towards African American men. There's no doubt about it. But it was not specific, even
So
for
it
me to
was
spit
not to
out, it
you
was specific to
directly.
me directly. And
Yeah.
so many times because of that, we would take that kind of anger and that kind of rage that someone else has for us, and
Mhm.
we're turn it inside,
Yes.
have it in our mind, let it go on in our
Right.
head,
We
and analyze
internalize
it,
it.
internalize it.
Mhm.
And it may have nothing to do with you at all. It shouldn't have
Right.
anything to do with
Right.
you, but it will many times create you
Mhm.
in
It
such a
be-
way where you think that it becomes you. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody else's problem becomes your problem.
Exactly. Wow.
Yes.
Well, we're getting to the end of things. It looks like coming around the corner. Answer some people's question about our event on every third weekend of the month. It's every third week of the month. Next one's August 19th to the 21st. Again, at the bottom you can see where you can go to Unity and Community. Our website address. You can also call at the same time. You can text at the same time. We'll give you some more information. I'd love to have more vendors out there on River Street. You still got time because our deadline for August is the 12th. The deadline for August for arts and craft vendors and in turn for food vendors. Now, if you're arts and craft, you got to make sure you are creating something with your hands. That's just how that goes. If you want to be a sponsor and sponsor us, we have like T-Mobile and other sponsors out there on River
Mhm.
Street. We'd love to have you as a sponsor. You can always give us some information or tell us you'd like to be a sponsor, and we'll give you that information. But anyway, back to our Unity in the Community. We're almost
taking
done
the journey together.
We're almost done with this. We may have to go through one more. I think the next time we talk about this is we're going to talk about learn new relationship tools.
Yes.
How
I
we
think
can
that's where
actually
we
deal
are
with it.
now.
Yeah, it's time
Yeah.
for us to go there.
Yes.
Definitely time for us to go there. So, hey, just because a picture is painted for a kind of relationship that you want, don't paint that picture for the kind of relationship that you want. And then when it doesn't happen and it in turn doesn't look that way, you become toxic because you were only thinking about it from your point of view.
Yes.
And it wasn't healthy in the first place. It wasn't even a 50-50 split.
50-50.
It was mostly all about you, and that's it. Hey, I guess we're coming to the end. I'm
Yes.
going to go ahead and let you finish so our engineer can go ahead and do what he usually does.
Yes. Until next week, we'll see you then.
Take that journey together. Be blessed, Ashe, and amen.
Ashe.
I like that.